It's time for Film-o-rama! Welcome to episode 13 of Film-o-rama. I'm Logan Marks.
And I'm Sam Baxter.
And this week's masterpieces of cinema are Father Stu and The Man from Toronto. So how you doing, Sam?
All right, man. How you been?
I've been okay. I've been all right.
We were off last week. We didn't let anybody know, though, did we?
No. Well, I did post something. I put one of our older shows on there. I put an episode of our older shows.
Oh, okay.
So there was something out there.
Okay.
And so I just randomly picked a show and threw it out there. And so hopefully people liked it. I don't know. If you did, let us know on our what's it, the
website?
The website, which I don't think we have.
Man, it's so professional. It's like we just fucking started, huh?
Yeah. Well,
jeez.
It's like we don't do this. We don't do this for the money. We do it for the love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But so we're gone. So, but we're back this week. We watched their movies, and
we'll get into that later.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. But first off, I finally got to spend this gift card that I got.
Gift card? Was it a special gift card or something?
Well, yeah, because basically what they did at work was if you refer someone and the person becomes a good employee and they're there for 6 months, you get a $500 gift card.
Okay.
So when I took the job, and I was there for 6 months, I referred the person who referred me. Had left like a couple months ago.
Okay. So
since they were needing somebody there, one of my good friends at work decided they talked the manager into putting his name on.
Okay. Oh, one of your like old workers from your old job?
Yeah, it's an old friend. Yeah, it was someone I worked with before. I moved from an old company to this new company. He came here first, and then I came here. I came after him. Because we like working together. We're really good friends. I golf with them like every week. And so, like how guys are. We like to screw each other over sometimes. Just because we think it's funny.
Yep. It's good banter.
do shit to each other, yeah. So he's like, oh, you know what? I'll talk her into putting a name on it, and I'll get $500. But I knew nothing of this, so I didn't know what was going on. I didn't think about it because I knew there was a program, but I never... And I knew that the person I referred was gone, so I was like, "Oh, that's $500. That's gonna just be lost." So he was all happy because he went the day like, "Oh, I'm gonna get $500," and so he's all all happy and stuff. And somebody comes up to him and he's like, "Hey, I heard you're getting $500 because you referred Logan." And he was like, "Whoa, who told you that?" And he was like, "What?" And he was like, the manager told me. He was like, oh shit. He was like, oh my God, like, what am I gonna do? Because like, it's already been a day, and he was so freaked out that if I found out before him telling me, that I would kick his ass.
So basically, he was using your name to get the money, like he referred you, and without telling you.
Without
so
telling
then he'd
me,
keep all the $500.
Because he knew that if I were to find out about it, I'd be like, "Hey, you got
give me some money."
Because that's only fair. Because like you wouldn't be getting it
without me.
Without me, you would be getting it, and I wouldn't be getting it without you. So it would have to be a 50-50 split. But he was trying to get the $500 all to himself.
So because somebody told him, like cat was out of the bag, he's like all freaking out.
Yeah. So he's freaking out like, oh shit, he's gonna know.
Somebody's gonna tell him. Gonna tell Logan too.
Gonna tell him. So I'm going into the break room and I hear him coming down the hallway, like just running, like hoping
full speed.
Yeah, full speed, running down to the hallway, and he comes up to me out of breath. He's like, I just want to tell you, there's good news.
Good news, huh?
Yeah.
Good news.
No, and at this point, I don't know what's going on, and I'm like, okay, so this is weird. And he was like, I have very good news. We're gonna get $250 a piece. And I was like, what? And he was telling me what happened. And I was like, well, what would happen if nobody knew about this? And he was like, I would have kept all the money.
I would have screwed you.
I was like, you son of a bitch. He was all talking about like how he was going to come in with all this new clothes and stuff, like a brand new hat. And he was like walking in.
Shit.
he was all dressed up like a kid.
Yeah.
And stuff. He was like, yeah, I've got some new dudes.
Yeah,
and stuff.
fucking money off the books, right? You fucking go spend on whatever you want, right? Now money you didn't have to budget for. It's a bonus, kind of.
So like I was like, all right. So we get $250. I was like, so I was like, why are you getting it? Because I don't remember using you as a referral at all. And he was like, well, I mean, she's gone. The person who did it is gone. So like I talked him into putting my name on there. And I was like, so basically, this isn't your money at all. Maybe I think it's all of my money.
Yeah.
Then. And he was like, his face was like, what? He's like, I was like, well, and he's like, well, I mean, technically, it should all be mine, right? And he was all like, well, no, because we need both of them. I was like, yeah, but you didn't tell me about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a dick move, right? So I was like, but it does. You know what? I'm gonna be a bigger person about this. I'll take $100, and then you can have the rest. And he was all, what? Yeah. And I was like, yeah, $100, and then you have the rest of it. And he's like, okay, that sounds good. So he's all happy, right? Takes off, and then so we're waiting. We find out it's not $500, but it's a gift card, a $500 gift card to the store that we work at.
Wait, you get a gift card to the store you work at?
Yeah. So we sell a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So.
No, I get that. Okay.
Yeah. It's $500.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. Cash would have been better, but it's fine.
Cash would have been a lot better, but I'll take some DeWalt, which I did. I ended up getting some DeWalt batteries.
Gotcha.
And, some tools and stuff. So I made out pretty good for not having this money.
Yes.
To begin
Gotcha.
So I found out it's a card. So but it wasn't going to come for another week or so. So like every day I would go see him. I'd be at work and I'd be like, hey, so did my $150 show up? And he's like, I thought you said 100. And I was like, the more I think about it, it's like 100 is kind of unfair.
Yeah.
So let's just do 150. And he's like, oh, okay, that sounds good. And then the other day would go by and I'm like, hey, I'd see him. I was like, hey, so did my $200 come in for that gift card? And then I kept raising it every day, and everything was like, but like every time, so I got to like 350, and he was like all sweating. He was like every time he saw me, he was like, he didn't want to
ignoring you and shit.
Yeah, like he didn't want to bring it up. He was like trying not to. And then by the time I knew it was getting close, he was like, well, I was just gonna take that whole gift card. I figured since you didn't tell me, you're being an asshole. The more I think about
you're gonna screw me, pal.
Yeah. And so when he got it, like. He was like, he got it, and I was there when they gave it to him. And then he grabbed it, and I took it out of his hands. And then I was like, oh, good. I put it in my wallet, and I was like, thanks, buddy. And I just like left. And he was all like, oh, man, what the
hell? You're like Debo from Friday, my money.
Yeah. Where's my 40? Yeah.
So what happened then?
So then, like afterwards, I kept it for like a day or two, and then he was like all pissed off, and then I gave it back. I spent my $250, and I gave it
back to him. You should have left him with like $10 on it. Here you go, pal.
I know. I should have bought it. I should have got another gift card with like
there you go.
There you go.
Here you go. Oh man, he would have been all screwed. He would have probably been all pissed. That would have been a good gag, though. I would have done that.
Yeah, it's like hurts. Does it hurt? Does it? So your friend tries to screw you over.
I would have totally done that. I would see what he would have done. That's good.
But yeah, that was pretty funny.
Pretty good.
So what you been up to?
Not a lot. Just kind of busy working from home. I had a little incident with my grunting guy at 7-Eleven. Yeah, the guy doesn't know how you speak. I just don't think he knows a lot of English. I'm not sure what country he's from. He's brown like us, but he ain't Mexican.
Yeah.
So I went in there and I was like, hey, I want to, because they sell these like I told last time. It's a basically sriracha, spicy, sweet and spicy chicken. They're call them chicken wings, but they're boneless, right? They're boneless wings, basically nuggets, whatever. And they're on a stick, right? There's 8 pieces on a stick. And so it's like, hey, can you make me one of those? Because they didn't have any there. All they had were like buffalo wings. I'm not a fan of buffalo wings. I like wings, but buffalo wings aren't mine. So my thing. So
Yeah.
it's like, hey, can you make me a sweet and sriracha boneless wings? He's like, how many you want? He's like, you want 10? I go, yeah, fuck, I'll take 10. I'm hungry. He's like, you want 10? I go, yeah, I'll take 10. And of course, his English is really like fucked up, but I understand the 10 part, right? I understand, like, you want 10? I'm like, yeah. So he rings me up. I get like a coffee, and I'm gonna get that. And usually it costs me like $6, $7 total. Comes out to $14.
Damn.
I'm like, holy shit! I go, hey, you're like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, wings. And
I like how he just grunts at everybody.
Yeah. It's like, I'm like, what the fuck are you saying? And I hear wings. I go, yeah, I want wings. I go, I want boneless. No. He's like, buffalo. I go, fuck no. I go, I don't want no fucking buffalo wings. I didn't say buffalo wings. And he goes, well, you want buffalo? Like then he kind of starts saying that. I'm like, no, I do not want fucking buffalo. I go, I told you I want sriracha, sweet, sriracha wings, boneless. And he looks at me.
It sounds like you're like trying to buy stuff from a caveman.
I know, man. I'm telling you, it's just like. And I go, no, man, I don't want this. Like, this is like, I'm not paying no fucking $14, or $16 for this shit. And he's just like, and then like other people start coming in. So then he's getting all like flustered. And then he goes, he's like, you want the other one? I go, yes, the fucking sweet, and so then he's like, he tells the other guy there, like, in, whatever language, he's like, tells him, the guy starts making it. And the other guy who helped me, he speaks better English. Like, hey, you want these ones, right? I go, yes, those ones, please. Thank you. I was like, those are the ones I want. And then the other guy, so a bunch of other people are coming in and stuff, and there's a line. So I'm waiting in line. I'm waiting for the food to get ready. And then he's like, and then I finally get to my turn. I was like, let me get my money back, and then I'll pay for these ones, right? And then he's like there, and and I get to him, and he's looking at the receipt. He's looking at it, and he's trying to think. And I'm thinking, what the fuck's he doing? Like, just fucking, refund me my money, and I'll pay the difference. And he's staring at he's looking like at 5 different receipts. I'm thinking, what the fuck? Like there's only one receipt for me, And I'm serious, he's looking through them all, and I'm like, what's he trying to figure out? Like, I'm thinking maybe somebody else had, had requested like lotto, scratch tickets and stuff. You know how sometimes people will do that, and it takes a while to get all that shit. So I'm just waiting, and the other guy's helping like the other line of people, and he's finally like, I'm thinking, fuck, like, I'm like, hello? I was like about to say that because I was standing there for like a good like 40 seconds, just standing there, nothing at all. And so he goes, okay. And then he goes to the teller thing, and he gives me my money back plus like $2. And I'm like, what? And I didn't realize that though, because I saw like the $1 bill. And I was like, all right, cool. And he's like, yeah. He goes, next time you listen.
I told you.
Yeah, he told me, man. I was like, I go, we both need to listen. And he goes, like, fuck you, dickhead. Like, it's like it's all on me, like I didn't fucking listen. Like,
and then
it's like I don't fucking speak Neanderthal, man.
And then one day you and the zombie caveman will become best of friends.
I know. I was just like, fuck. But I'm like, I go, don't I owe you? He's like, it's just like, he's like, he's just like, get the fuck out of here, man. I was like, all right. I just fucking laughed. I was like, fuck it, man. You should take my new wings and my coffee, and I'm out.
You should take your phone in there and like put it record, and then
shit.
And then you can play for the show. I want to hear this guy. He sounds crazy.
I know, man. It's fucking weird. Like, but he's like, the way he tells me, you need to listen. Fuck you, man. The audacity, dickhead, that you have, man, is too much. Like, I was like, I did listen to, I did understand your shit. So, yeah, it was fucking, the guy was nuts. It's funny though. Like, I'm sorry, man. I usually don't mind people who from other countries helping, but this is like too much. Like, but I mean, I got everything free.
Oh,
so
that's good.
I guess I should complain. Yeah.
The only thing you took was your time. He almost stole you.
He did, yeah.
Paid with time instead of money.
I did pay with time. I seriously, like, I was kind of getting impatient too, because I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, get this shit right, you know? Like, just refund me the shit. And I don't know why he was looking at like 5 receipts. Like, he was just
he's all like,
I was like, what are you trying to?
He has like one of those little,
decode them, like, or something?
Calculator caps that they have, and he's all like, like punching.
Yeah, it was just
punching
like,
numbers in his little square box, in his little calculator, trying to figure out how to give you the money back.
I know. I was like, just fucking refund me, man. I just paid. Like, there's no sales between, you know, when we just had this conversation, and when I was like, fucking just give me the money back. But I kind of wonder if he refunded me from the wrong receipt. Now that I think about it.
Did you pay cash or did you?
No, I paid on a card.
You can look on there, so it could be like a $5,000 charge on your card.
No, because I paid. You know, I paid what like if it was $14, and he gave me back like 16. So I'm saying I think he was looking at the wrong receipt when he refunded me. You know, see what I'm saying? He thought like I was getting a refund, but he used the wrong fucking receipt. Like I said, he had like 5 of them. And I think he was trying to figure out
what it was. He couldn't see where it says sriracha chicken on there.
Yeah, the wings. He couldn't even see wings on there, man. The shit he thought I wanted, those shitty ass buffalo wings. So.
He was like, I don't see buffalo wings on here.
Yeah. Who the fuck typed this in? Wait, that's me. He's like, yeah, that's
all right. So we should probably get into the movies.
Yeah, let's do
all right. So our first movie is going to be Father Stu, and this movie it follows the life of Father Stuart Long, a boxer turned priest who inspired countless people during his journey from self-destruction to redemption. So, what did you think of this movie?
So, honestly, I thought it was like, I'm not a big fan of a lot of the Netflix stuff. This one wasn't like over the top, big budget and all that stuff, but I felt like the story was actually decent.
Well, it was based on a true story, was it?
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. It was decent. I liked the way, how witty he was. His responses were pretty quick, and he saw things that made the preachers and the cardinals and stuff think twice.
Yeah.
Like they were making him feel like, hey, you're basically a cripple. We're not gonna support you. And he would throw the logic, of God that they're supposed to be preaching back at them, and they're like, fuck. I liked that because he would kind of put them in their place and make them see things like how he was, right? Because a lot of these guys, they become real pompous and arrogant and, basically kiss my hand. I'm a servant of God, but you basically got to serve me. And and he was always like, he kept the word of God as the main beacon of light for his hope. And he didn't stray from that. And he was pretty on it. And I thought it was pretty good, honestly. I thought the story was pretty good, and it was well written, and I usually don't like Mark Wahlberg, but because he didn't have to do a lot, you didn't fuck with him. He didn't have to have like a big range of type of acting.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't.
Yeah, he was basically acting like somebody like he grew up as.
Yeah, exactly. Some fuck up, right? He
basically lived that role.
Yeah, so he had no problem. Like, he didn't have to really like work.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't a stretch for him.
He wasn't as cry or whiny in this one.
Yeah, no, he wasn't. Thankfully. Yeah, because he always cries and whines in every fucking movie. But I thought it was good. I felt like me. I'm not a religious person, so I felt like it was good for what it was. And I liked how he would like I said, throw back like a lot of these guys who would think they're better than the rest. That he would throw back at them.
Yeah.
He kind of got them to see things like, hey, you don't have to be this way, and I liked that. So I didn't find the movie to be too bad. Like I said, it wasn't some Netflix over the top big budget type show that was just too. Because
I don't think it was a Netflix show. I think it was. I think it just streamed on there, but I don't think it was I don't think it was a Netflix.
That's why it was decent. Fuck, that makes sense. I thought it was a Netflix movie, like Netflix made it.
No, because I remember it was in theaters, I think, for a while.
Oh, so that's why it was good. That's why I thought that's why I liked it then. I was going to say, man, for a Netflix movie, I was actually surprised.
Well, there you go. Now you have your answer why you liked it, because it wasn't
now because it wasn't a fucking Netflix movie. God, that makes sense now. Jeez.
You know what I really liked was seeing Mel Gibson again.
Mad Mel?
Yeah.
I liked him too.
Like, I know, like, he did a bunch of dumb shit, but I always liked his movies. Like, and his acting. He's always been good. Like, the characters that he does, and I always liked him doing something. So it was just good to see him on screen again, because it felt like it's been a long time since I've seen him on screen.
Last time I could think of was, remember Machete? Remember Machete Kills?
Machete,
remember he was the bad guy in there? I like that, I thought that was pretty good, but no, you're right. He's kind of been blackballed, from Hollywood.
But
his anti-Semitic views and stuff.
But I don't know. I still like his performances and stuff. He was really good. And then that Teresa Ruse, that girl, oh my god, she's fucking gorgeous. I was like, what a shame that she's that religious. I think it's like I might go back to the Catholic Church if I was gonna be able to. To hit that, I might think about it. But because I grew up Catholic, and
we both did.
Yeah,
man. You were just more than me.
I was a little bit more into it than you. Because at one point I wanted to become a priest, and so this movie kind of spoke to me, because like I remember feeling like going through church and feeling all those feelings, like want to be a better person, like trying to redemption, and
you're basically giving your heart to God.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, and I remember that, and like watching this kind of brought up a lot of memories growing up.
Oh, really?
As far as like it would be like how when I was religious. Now, but also when I watch it, I'm just like, okay, that's really annoying. It's like,
it's like
certain things that like the churches. I remember watching it. It made me remember how much I did actually like being in the church, but then also like all the bullshit that was in it. And then like seeing it through different eyes now, it brought back a lot of memories, and and made me kind of had these feelings that like, man, well, like what was I thinking at the time?
Well, it's certain aspects, right? There's good and bad.
And
there's like when it's good, it's good, right?
Because there's a lot of good aspects of being religious and feeling like there's a higher calling for you. But then again, like the way I see it now, it's like your calling can be whatever you want, so you really don't need religion for that. But like with this,
that's a way for them to control you.
Yeah,
right?
It does. It feels like you're being controlled. But this, like, even though, because I do have mixed feelings about the Catholic Church, I still really like the movie.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, you know me, I don't want to deal with anything with the church at all, but for this movie, I thought it did pretty well.
I was really disappointed that he wanted to become a priest and not
I know.
not marry,
I was like, what the fuck?
not want to be with the whole reason that he even like got into it, and he was just like, no, I'm sorry, I mean, I thought it was kind of a dick move.
Yeah, I know. I was like, yeah, I know.
She was like, okay,
he was gonna marry her.
Because it was like, yeah, and then I was thinking like, I when I was in the Catholic Church, I mean, you didn't have to be a priest. I mean, that was like probably the higher calling, but there's a lot of people that they kind of do that same kind of priest stuff, but they're married.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
I mean, there's people that lead groups and do all that stuff in. So like he could, I don't know. I was kept thinking like you can do that. I don't know.
No, he was going fucking all in.
Yeah, but he was going all in. And I'm like, ugh, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't marry you.
Yeah.
I can't do this. Can't do that.
But then but I do remember like when I was a kid and I was telling my dad like, you know what? I think I want to be, or not a kid, but when I was like going to college or about to go to college, I was telling him like, I told my dad, I was like, you know what? I kind of want to be a priest, but I don't know if I can, celibacy would be kind of fucking hard. And my dad, because he was really religious at the time too, and he was like, let me tell you a secret, son. He was like, those priests? I was like, yeah. He was like, they fuck all the time.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, how do you know that? He was like, trust me, they do.
Jeez.
And I was like, oh, all right. And then like when I got older, I was like, I didn't know there was little boys that he was talking about.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was about to say, man. Those fuckers. You go after little kids. It's like, oh,
yeah.
man.
And it's hard not to watch it without thinking like, oh, okay, these guys.
I always think about that too.
But
I mean, granted, not every priest.
No, right? I'm not saying. But like when I see any kind of movie with like the Catholic Church, I'm just like, oh, these guys are.
It's jaded.
Yeah.
They're jaded.
These guys are pedos.
Yeah, I know that's you can't help but feel
Yeah,
that way.
so
It's
it was kind of hard.
man.
But besides all that, the story was really good. The acting was really
Mm-hmm.
good.
Mm-hmm.
It had a pretty good soundtrack too, and I really liked it. I'd give it like a, if I were to give it a rating, I'd probably give it like a 4 out of 5.
I'm fair with that. 4 out of 5. The last part, the reason I don't is because it has to do with the church.
Yeah,
You know, me, I can't get behind shit like that. But yeah, it was actually well done. Like I said, it was very well done. I liked it. Everyone, the acting was good. That the supporting cast was great. Mel Gibson and Teresa Reese, and they did all pretty well. I liked it. The divine intervention.
yeah,
Some people feel that way, right? Some people have those feelings like, hey, this is what God wants.
yeah.
And, all right.
All right. So you give it a 4 out of 5 too, or?
Yeah, I think so. It was. I wasn't bored. I didn't fall
Yeah.
asleep. I was actually pretty entertained by it.
Yeah.
So. I liked his wittiness. I like his quick wittiness. That's what really kept me entertained, was his responses to people that would they would just constantly shoot him down. He was used to that his whole life from his fuck up father and everything.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I give it 4 out of 5.
All right.
So let's move on. We got The Man from Toronto. So, and there's a Netflix movie. The world's deadliest assassin and New York's biggest screw up were mistaken for each other at an Airbnb rental. So what are your thoughts?
Okay. I'm going to talk a lot of bad things about this movie, but in general, it was not horrible. It was okay. It's like I've got to the point now where when I know Kevin Hart's in it, I don't expect much from it anymore. Like
Right. Fair enough.
because he seems to play the same simp ass character
He does.
every time. It's like you could take any character from any of his movies and mix them together, and you wouldn't even know the difference because it's always the same person.
Yeah.
This one I think was one of his better movies, and I don't know if it, because it wasn't like didn't feel like a comedy, but more like an action adventure with a little bit of comedy in it.
Mm-hmm.
I did chuckle a couple times, but it was never like I was like, oh my god, that's so funny. That never happened when I watched it. Which, being the Kevin Hart and a Woody Harrelson, they're both funny guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I would think it'd be a lot more of a good like buddy kind of a buddy cop movie kind of deal. But it didn't. It still never felt that way. And then watching like Woody Harrelson, like I liked this character, but then like it at some points it became too cliche to the point where like, okay, this is obvious what he's gonna do or how he's gonna react. So I ended up, like I said, I was entertained, but I thought the film was okay, but like I said, Kevin Hart, I don't expect anything great from him. So because I had such low expectations, I think I'm giving it. I would give it like a higher rating than I normally would from a Kevin Hart movie. But yeah, so,
I thought for me, I thought the premise, like, it started out like it's so dry. Like, Kevin Hart, to me, he's pretty funny. You watch any of his stand up, he's funny.
Yeah.
When they do interviews with him, he's funny. But then they give him these scripts, and like I said, I think that Netflix just gave him a fucking suitcase full of money because he is so dry. He's like so boring. He acts like you said, he's a total simp. And like just like the whole beginning part, that gym he's working at, like they try the videos.
Yeah.
Like, none of that, like, to me, was like, it was just dumb.
Yeah, it was just like they
wasn't funny at all.
were just throwing shit on the wall and hoping it stuck.
Yeah, the wife. You didn't. It's not like they were really established. You didn't I thought it was his girlfriend. Like,
when I saw him and the wife, I kept thinking, it's like, why is she even with him? Because they're like making comments like, oh, like they made a
he Kevin'd it up,
or whatever. Yeah, whatever his name was.
He's a big
yeah,
loser.
but she was like still with him and wanted to have sex with him. I did not get that.
Like I said, it was real shallow. Like there wasn't really an established, like they were established, like what type of relationship they had. So like I said, I was guessing until they finally said, oh yeah, he fucked up a lot of these others. I was like, okay, Like, I really don't. By the time they introduced that, like, I didn't really care.
Yeah. So it was his wife, right? That's what I thought.
Yeah, it was his wife. And then like the FBI thing so I thought, okay, they got mixed up. He's gonna have to play it. I was like, okay, I can kind of get behind this. It might be a little bit funny, but like you said, a lot of it was cliched. I love both these guys. Woody Harrelson's funny. He's well established. Both of them are pretty established, and I feel like they try to make him like a John Wick type guy.
Yeah.
Right. Like he could just take on anything. Like nothing would fucking feed him. He was just so mysterious.
I guess Jason Stamos was supposed to play that part.
Jason Statham?
Is it Statham? Yeah. Yeah, Jason Statham was supposed to play him.
He would have played a good part of that, right? He would have been really good in that. But we got Woody Harrelson. So again, no disrespect to Woody. I like I said, I like Woody. He's done a lot of good stuff. But like I said, like remember with the FBI, they're all watching him, and then he gets in the wrong car. Remember Woody takes him. The Man from Toronto takes him, and who is Woody's character is named the Man from Toronto, and he's a hitman, and he takes him, and the FBI, none of them know where he's at. Like there was like all of them in the park, and then none of them knew where he went. Remember, it was just like, really, they fucking botched that up. There was only one guy who was supposed to watch it. That was the guy that Woody took out, and I was just like, come on, man! Like these stories, like there was a lot of plot holes that just didn't. They just put him in there just to progress the story, and it got too dumb. Like, oh, fuck. Like I did laugh a few times. Like that's probably the most I've done with any of these Netflix movies, comedies. Is I actually laughed like more than once. Like actually like 3 times, but it was too far and in between. It was everything was really predictable. I didn't really feel like any of the characters I really like gelled with or meshed with. Like none of them. I didn't really care about
any of them.
No, it just seemed really shallow. Like I said, and then Kevin Hart. I still don't know how he ended up, like how he became popular with his stupid ideas.
I know, the no hit
still
boxing.
The exact same shit. Except now he's getting all these views and likes. I thought this movie was a miss. I was expecting the most out of a Netflix movie. I thought this was going to be pretty good because these 2 guys, but to me it was a big miss.
Yeah,
I would give it like probably like 2.5 stars.
Yeah, I was thinking like 3 stars only because I did like Woody Harrelson, and like Kevin Hart is so like he's a likable when you watch him he's likable, but I always expect more from him, but now it's like I guess I've given it a higher rating because like since the last couple films that we've done with him in them they've been like really just shitty. So so when I saw this one, I was like, "Oh, this one's kind of decent." So I think I'm giving it a high rating. So I was going to give it like a 3 out of 5. Like I would still watch it. There were some entertaining parts in it, but there was a lot of stuff that I'm just like, "Oh, this is kind of dumb. It's kind of cliche." I just like I hate it when they do that. It's a cliche where like, "Oh, he's a deadly hitman. He's like he does all this shit," and then but like, "Oh, but I can't talk to girls."
I know. I get so nervous about it. I'm scared. It's like this guy he has no emotions.
Yeah.
He allegedly saw his grandfather be eaten to death by a grizzly right in front of him. All his emotions died right there.
But he sees some pussy and he can't talk. Yeah. I was just like, come on. That's such a like a PG-13 cliche.
I know. It was just come on. Yeah. It was just like fuck. And who knows? Maybe Kevin Hart's just not made to be in movies. Because, like I said, his stand-ups, fantastic. His interviews are great.
It's just like his movies, and there's gonna be a lot of people that they like him, so they'll watch it and they'll think it's okay. Because I think it's got like a 5.8 on IMDb, so which isn't horrible. It's not like a bad rating. I mean, that's a decent rating.
He feels to me similar with movies. He feels like Chris Rock. Chris Rock was good stand-up. He's good as an MC and all that stuff, but his movies, like Chris Rock movies, are all like pretty much trash. Like I can't really think of one that's really good. And I feel like that the way where he's like the main guy, right? He's one of the main guys. I'm not talking about like some supporting role, but that's how I feel like Kevin Hart is. When he was in Jumanji, he was fine, right? Because he didn't have to carry the load. He wasn't one of the main. He was one of the main out of 4, but The Rock, was really the main guy.
Yeah, and I don't know if he plays just. If he's better off as not being a leading man.
He might be. That's what I'm getting at. Is like when he's not the lead, he's okay.
Yeah.
Same as Chris Rock.
He's not,
like Chris Rock.
go ahead.
Yeah, Chris Rock. Same thing. You know, when he's not the lead, he's okay. When you give him lead roles, they just not good. Like the movie,
they kind of suck it up because they can't. I feel they can't carry a movie.
No. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, I give it a 2.5. Again, I was let down. I'm gonna step away from Netflix shows, movies.
We should try to make it a golden.
I just haven't found one that's like good, and I just feel like anything that comes out is just trash.
Well,
so
I think a lot of it's
really
just
like
I think a lot of it's just having like the Kevin Hart ones because there are some gems on Netflix. It's usually if it's a decent movie on Netflix, it's usually somebody who, you know, it's usually a bunch of nobodies, or you know, it's somebody who just wrote a good story, or you know, it was like usually like an independent kind of film, and those are usually the better ones on there. That you don't hear about very often, but I think every time they get somebody who's like big named and they pump a lot of money into it, I think that's what kind of fucks it up.
I just, and maybe they spend all the money on the actors and don't have any writers.
That's what I'm wondering too, because a lot of it is basically a bunch of writing flaws in the movie.
It seriously, yeah,
because you have these great actors, so I mean, something's got to be okay, because they had I remember they had Red Notice with The Rock. They did that one.
I didn't watch that.
That one was okay. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't like a great movie, but it was decent. But you know, they had like The Rock. It had Ryan Reynolds in it, and the Wonder Woman chick was in it. It was like those are three. Those are three huge ass stars. It should have done a lot better.
And it was a Netflix.
Yeah. So I was just like, what? It's like maybe they should spend more little time on that writing instead of, you know,
on the actors,
pumping all this money in the acting or in getting big names.
Yeah, that's tough, man. I mean, I wish. Yeah, they need to get their shit together because, like I said, it seems like a lot of people are. And then the prices keep going up, so I think a lot of people are kind of getting fed up with them. Honestly.
Yeah, and they're doing that. They're going to do that thing where they're putting ads in some of them, but for a lower price. So what you're paying, basically, they're probably going to set up what you're paying for before without getting the fucking commercials, is what you're going to be starting to pay, and then they'll jack up the price on what you're getting already.
Yeah, I heard the price is supposed to be going up.
Well, I don't know. I know a lot of people are like leaving Netflix, kind of straying away from it because there's so much. There's so many more fucking formats to watch is on. So unless they start stepping up their game and actually start working on storylines and stuff and producing better films, and they're gonna start hurting.
Yeah, and I think this is where it's gonna start going. All right, so what do we got for next week?
So next week, I know this one I thought was a good one. It's on Netflix. But I saw the previews for it, and it looked pretty interesting. It looked a little different. It's called Lou.
L-O-U.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And for me, I'm going to choose one called, on HBO Max, Reborn.
Eraser Reborn?
Yeah, so I think it looks like it's kind of like, remember the movie Eraser with Schwarzenegger back in the 90s?
Uh-huh.
I'm kind of getting those elements, like maybe it's kind of something like that. I'm not sure, though, but we'll find out.
All right.
But it's called Eraser Reborn.
What's it?
Yeah, but Eraser was good.
I liked it. I remember that one. It was with the Schwarzenegger.
Good. Yeah. The Governor.
All right, so we got Lou and Eraser Reborn for next week. We're going to take off, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right, bye, everyone.
Bye.